This is a KAKE News breaking news alert.
First, we start with breaking news out of South Wichita. A 10-month-old baby girl found dead inside a hot car in the 1500 block of South Topeka.
KAKE's Madeline Anderson was the first on the scene. She now joins us live with more on this investigation. Madeline, what's the latest?
Well, police say that baby girl had been left in the back seat of the car for 2 hours in front of this house here behind me. Police say that she lived there with her 2 foster dads. They were taken in for questioning earlier tonight, but at that point, they had not been arrested. Now today, temperatures reach 90 degrees in Wichita with a heat index of 96. A car can reach 135 degrees in an hour in this kind of weather.
Yeah, especially this time of year. Children, pets, pay attention to what you're doing and get them out and take them inside.
And police are still investigating why the child may have been left in that car, but again, it highlights the importance of making sure you don't leave anyone in a hot car, whether it's a grandparent, a child, or a pet, and make sure you double, even triple check to make sure you didn't forget about someone in the back seat. Reporting live in Wichita, Madeline Anderson, KAKE News.
Thanks, Madeline. And now digging deeper into the dangers of hot cars. The U.S. Department of Transportation today launching a new public service campaign educating parents on the dangers of leaving kids in those hot cars. So far this year, 17 children have died after being left in the cars. The Where's Baby Look Before You Lock campaign reminds Americans that it is never okay to leave a child alone in a car. Now, this is the first heat death in Wichita so far this year.
A downtown building collapses in Kingman this afternoon. Fortunately, no one was inside.
And there is still no word on what caused that collapse. KAKE's Monica Castro talked to folks in Kingman on losing that historical building. Monica.
Larry, according to the city manager, the building was built in 1809, and people who drove by to check out the scene tell me that the building was in need of repair. Cell phones and cameras out, all to catch a glimpse of this now fallen building in Kingman.
I'm just thinking, holy cow, I mean, here the whole corner of the building is just gone.
This vacant building collapsed sometime around 2:30 this afternoon. First responders cleared out the adjacent buildings as a precaution.
We got it barricaded right away. Our top concern is the safety of our citizens, and it will stay up until we have time to assess the situation and make sure that nobody will be in danger.
What's left is a pile of rubble, a sunken-in ceiling, and lots of questions as to how this happened. Residents say it appeared the owner of it may have planned to start repairs.
It's been roped off on the corner there for the past week or so. It looked like they were doing some plaster work.
We talked to people here in Kingman who say this road is heavily traveled, especially by bigger trucks. They believe that could have been a reason why this building collapsed today. They say because of the truck's rumble, that's why this building may have come tumbling down. Whatever the cause, residents like Michelle Darnell say it's time for the city to inspect the other old buildings downtown.
If stability of some of these other buildings isn't checked out to make sure that something like this isn't going to happen to one of the other buildings.
City officials say they have been in contact and will work with the property owner on what's next. They expect to keep a portion of Main Street barricaded for safety precautions. Larry?
Oh, we have an update now to breaking news we first told you about at 5. 2 people are dead after a crash in McPherson County. Now, that crash happened this afternoon, shortly before 4 o'clock on I-135 just north of McPherson. Troopers say a northbound car hit the back of another car driving north. The trailing car then rolled several times and caught fire. The driver and a passenger in that trailing car were killed.
Piecing together all the witness statements, there were several vehicles around that stopped and provided statements, so the investigating troopers are now trying to piece everything together to see if they can come up with what happened prior to the crash.
Now, there is no word on the condition of the people in the other car.
The Great Plains Theater in Abilene declared a total loss after last night's fire. The fire in the 130-year-old theater, first reported around 7 last night, took firefighters about 4.5 hours to put it out. No one was injured in the fire. The cause of it remains under investigation. A group hoping to decriminalize marijuana in Wichita turning in its petition to the city today. People from Kansas for Change filed 5,800 signatures today at City Hall. All they needed was about 2,900. After the election, Commissioner verifies and validates each signature. The petition will be turned over to the City Council. Now, the Council can either vote to adopt it, ask for clarification in the wording, or put it on the November ballot.
I see that it has been accepted, and I'm very glad for that, because I think that the will of the people needs to be done. And with this many signatures, we've got nearly twice what we needed to get this on the ballot, and that's where it needs to be.
Currently, a first offense marijuana conviction in Wichita can carry a $2,500 fine or up to a year in jail. If it is decriminalized, that would be reduced to a civil fine of $25.
Well, a decision is expected tomorrow on the death sentences and capital murder convictions of the Carr brothers. The Kansas Supreme Court said it would release decisions Friday morning on the appeals of Jonathan and Reginald Carr. Now, the brothers are facing a lethal injection for those December 2000 shooting deaths of 4 people right here in Wichita.
Always tracking, always alerting, always protecting. KAKE First Alert.
Wow, it's going to be a hot one tomorrow, isn't it, Jay?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh my gosh, we're kind of scared for it.
Now today it only got up to 90 degrees in Wichita. A lot of people thought it felt hotter than that, but got up to 100 in Goodland and Colby and 102 in Liberal. Temperatures outside now, they're continuing to kind of cool down a little bit outside the KAKE studios. It's currently 82 degrees. You throw in the dew point of 70, the current heat index is 86, and the winds are out of the south-southeast at 12 miles per hour. 84 in Great Bend, 88 in Colby, 85 in Dodge, and 82 in Concordia now, with a heat index of 87 in Liberal, also in Salina. Tomorrow morning started the day with a lot of sunshine. 73 degrees at 6, 75 at 7, by 8 we'll be up to 78 degrees. Tomorrow's going to be one of the hottest days so far for Wichita anyway. Some other places in KAKE land, yeah, we're looking at a lot of triple digits. Heat index between 105 to 110 degrees, but we are tracking a nice cool down on the planner. That's ahead.
Thanks, Jay. Now to our continuing coverage of the VA scandal. Kansas Congressman Tim Huelskamp grilled the acting Secretary of Veterans Administration about secret patient lists. Now, Huelskamp says throwing more money at the VA won't solve its problems. He says there must be accountability. With that in mind, he asked Acting Director Sloan Gibson about those secret patient waiting lists.
So you're absolutely certain that every one of those waiting lists have been identified?
That's why I say, to the best of my knowledge, they've been uncovered. But until the IG completes their reviews in all those locations and comes back and issues their reports, I can't tell you that definitively.
The reference to IG is to the Inspector General.
Well, the state of Kansas launching a new program to help parents paying child support. The parent who does not have custody of the child and owes back child support may owe debt both to the custodial parent and the state. The non-custodial parent with debt now has the opportunity to pay $25 to open an account, and for every dollar paid into that account, the state will forgive $2 of state-owned debt. Well, new tonight at 10, the immigration crisis and plight of undocumented children crossing the border, well, that continues to spark controversy. Today, the federal government released data showing which states received the most number of undocumented immigrant minors. KAKE's David Marcus here now with those numbers. David.
Well, Larry, 4 states are responsible for receiving 46% of the more than 30,000 unaccompanied children stopped at the U.S.-Mexico border this year. Those would be New York, Texas, Florida, and California. As for Kansas, we rank right around the middle of the country in number of unaccompanied immigrant children. From January 1st of 2014 to July 7th, 179 unaccompanied children were placed in Kansas homes. 24 U.S. states had fewer children placed. Typically, the Office of Refugee Settlement places the kids into the homes of sponsors. All sponsors must first go through a background check, including criminal history. Now, the number of unaccompanied minors stopped at the U.S. border has more than tripled since 2011. Incidentally, the state with the lowest number of accompanied minors is Montana, reporting just 1 child.
All right, David, thank you. We have new details now on that missing plane in West Africa. Officials in the nation of Burkina Faso say the wreckage of the Air Algeria jet has been found in Mali. Now, the plane was carrying 116 people when it disappeared in a rainstorm. This is the 3rd large aviation disaster in just a week. 47 people died in a Trans-Asia flight in Taiwan on Wednesday. 298 were aboard Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 as it was shot down over eastern Ukraine.
It makes you think twice about stuff, obviously. Things like that happen and it's on your mind.
Now, the remains of the victims of Malaysia Airlines crash arrived in the Netherlands today, where that flight originated.
The death toll from the Middle East crisis has now passed 800. Today marks the deadliest so far in the 17-day war in Gaza between Israel and Hamas. At least 119 Palestinians were killed just today, including at least 15 at a UN school being used as a shelter for those displaced by fighting.